Welcome to the Chaos March, 10v10, Osiris E for Gnome, Shooter, Uller B, Vulture A, Bob, Django, Novacat E, Burner, Shadowcat F, Invictus, Uziel A, Kentax Demo A, Stubby, Oro D, Gorgots, Chimera D, Korn, For Life, APC Prime. Opposing them, Kill Them All, Avatar B, Omni, Uller D, Malos, Hollander Prime, Japal, Uller E, Vivisector, Puma Prime, Dolarich, Oro A, Zoidberg, Oro E, Mr. Gray, Madcat Prime, Avia in a Shadowcat D, and Sudibor in a Epona B. We have two teams that are utilizing a significant part of their drop on range. This is TC Qandahar. This is the Duchy of Small campaign, attacking Blakest Held World Diem 4. The teams are tied up 1-1, albeit there is some speculation that the first map may end up being replayed due to 3/4 of their team, due to a decision I did to get us all stuck in our tanks. Check it out, it's a pretty interesting video. It's map 1 of this campaign on TC and Coladas. It is not fun to be in that situation, but probably kind of fun to watch it happen. Anyway, you can see this is all an Eridani team, Eridani Light Horse, MWOmercs.net. A large portion of their opponents will be Wolverine's Rebirth at wolverines-rebirth.de. A couple of mercenaries over there as well. I have one of my members from SJ over there, Felixes. Warlord Kentax and Invictus are, this is strange, they showed up later. They are the leaders of the attacking forces that ELH is playing as the Duchy of Small, and but they're helping lead the defense because of just the way things went down. So I think they're trying to do well, but maybe in the back of their minds they're hoping that they get their planet there that their faction's attacking. I asked them, they said they're okay with it, so we just want to play. We've had some gigantic battles. We've had to turn away about probably 7 or 8 people right now because we had some technical issues earlier that delayed one of the matches for quite some time, and I wanted to make sure that our matches got going as fast as we could. So I never like turning people away, but we are definitely going to get them in on our next fight, and we expect to be playing at least another 2 maps tonight before we close things out, and this is to conclude turn 3, and preparations are all set for 4 of the 5 factions, excluding the Duchy of Small, because obviously they need to know what assets they end up losing, because assets are persistent for attacking forces. As we see Eridani sticking all together, I suppose I should refer to them as Duchy of Small. Attack forces are largely sticking together, utilizing their jump jetters to try and assess the enemy positioning. So we see Malos going very high into the sky with his Hollander, and this is the one of the popular places that battles happen on this map. You saw where they were down by that airport. That's by far the most popular place battles happen. A change in tactics now is the Blakest defense forces are now forced to move to the northern portion of the map up here. Lots of cover for the 2 teams, lots of spread. Zoidberg, one of the best in the business, leading the Duchy forces today in being able to take large groups. This game only supports up to 14 players on a server before server performance degrades, so we are only missing 8 pilots in the field. And when you have 10 individual pilots with needs and information, it can get crazy in the comms channel. So having a strong leader is essential for Zoidberg. He is the primary commander. What he says goes for their team. For this team, in this case, they've decided to split it off a little bit. Warlord Kentax and Invictus and I believe Burner are kind of sharing the load right now as the leaders. They're trying to set up sub-commanders so that one person only has to worry about a few assets, and rather than having to worry about the whole force. They're pretty talkative over there, so perhaps a bit different strategy as we now see first contacts, so we don't have to worry about any holds here. these matches can be very, very long on Qandahar, especially when the teams pick up long range like this. Unless the team decides to rush, we'll have to see what happens. Duchy is getting jumped on pretty early here. Duchy's now able to return fire. Bob has to back up a little bit because that's a vulture, and well, it's good weaponry, but the armor's standard issue. Ouch. You can definitely say that the Duchy has the high ground, and depending on your school of thought, that could be a major advantage for them right now. King of the Hill, defensible position. The two teams just filling each other out. Still unaware largely of the exact assets that they're using. I'm pretty sure that the Vulture A has been discovered, and you can make some guesses there, but otherwise, visually, the defense forces still likely have to get a certain feel for what they're facing. You can certainly see weapons up there, but I'm not entirely sure that you're going to be able to make out the specific mech variants that you're facing. Khorne is in an interesting position here. A very veteran player, one of the absolute top Atlas players you'll ever run into in any Mechwarrior game. But we've put him as a battle armor here just to change things up a bit, and so he'll have 4 lives, and you can see that he's trying to position to get up on there. He can be very aggressive and get his weapons off and provide information about what assets they are, and could even provide tag if they had a missile loadout here. But what's interesting is that he brings a APC, Armored Personnel Carrier, which spawns the little power suit battle armor dudes, and they refill ammo. You can see this is definitely a ammo heavy based list for the defense forces, and so if that APC doesn't get destroyed, they can go aggressively with their ammunition and not have to worry about watching their ammo count. The other interesting thing, though, is that had this been a missile list, which it doesn't appear to be for the Duchy forces, that would be their only lambs. That 10 mechs down there, a single one has lambs. So something that you might have to watch out for is Khorne is now trying to position to get up his shot. Be very careful as a BA, even with those 4 lives. You certainly don't want to be terribly aggressive because you want to do as much damage as you can in a drawn-out fight like this, and we can definitely tell that they're attempting to reposition. Zoidberg doesn't like the position that they're in now, so he's telling them to move back. Looks like that they've sustained some damage to Japal's Uller, missing an arm. Ullers usually have a pretty significant amount of their firepower in the arms, so that's going to hurt his efforts a little bit as they move up. And they're either going to try and close in on them, or they are just simply going to try to get back into a better positioning, as the battle armor will be able to report some of their movement. It really depends on how close in Khorne really wants to move here. And we can see the... well, we've lost the... you can see that there's a lot of distance between the teams now. Khorne is moving in the... Blakist defense forces are trying to meet them now, so they know where they're at. So Zoidberg lost in the element of surprise he wanted, but he is able to probably focus a couple of shots off on Bob while he fights through some. Now that he has some backup, Khorne is up in the hill, I think. Still, well, let's try and focus on the action here, as we can definitely see the server holding up rather well, but also you're certainly going to have a couple of issues when you're got a worldwide player base right now. We have players from 4 different continents right now. As there's the missiles. I was wondering where those were. Django taking a good LRM-15 blast. Looks like there might be a couple more in the air. Teams direct fire rule the day in Chaos March, and that's no different here, as we see PPCs and Gauss just going nuts here. Try and focus back out on Khorne. Let's change the perspective a bit and follow the Duchy attackers for a little while here, as we see that Zoidberg's tried to have them set up some crossfire, sending half his forces up into the hills and sending the rest down on the road, as Eratan is going to take some heavy damage now. He got stuck down, and he is down. Mr. Gray providing their missile support. LRM-20s certainly doing everything he can. Khorne trying to get Gray to get off the rocks so that the defense forces can move in. The defense forces like their numbers now and like their weaponry compared to the Duchy attackers, so the Blackish forces are going to try and close in a bit. Khorne probably being told to keep that fire down, and looks like that the Duchy forces have taken somebody. Nope, they've just caused a lot of damage. Can definitely tell Gray's taking some really heavy damage here from that BA, so he's trying to utilize his large beam lasers to get on there. Kill them all's being called down to re-up the close forces. Zoidberg and Dolovrich in their tanks are trying to take the front of the line, try not to take too much damage. Those PPCs will do their fair share of damage to the enemy over time, and now he's telling everybody, let's back up a bit. And he has the Sudibor trying to keep an eye on things with his enhanced optics and trying to move the forces back a little bit, assess their damage, see what they've taken, and see what have everybody report in. It's all about positioning. One of the wonderful things I enjoy watching both teams, but especially Eridani, is that they move in unison, they move in force. Zoidberg tells them, I need you to go here. They all go to a certain spot, and it's just really interesting to watch, like a well-played chess game. The two veteran commanders here just telling their team, focus, go over to this spot, go to this area, and you just see that even a few dozen meters can make the difference between victory and defeat in the Chaos March. As Kill Them All, Japal are moving up, Mr. Gray's being called back. They're going to try and deal with the battle armor a bit, try and set up some crossfire. Actually, that's a full force. They're trying to move their forces up into the hills, get back around the backside of the mountain towards center where they were. Milo's taking some firepower. Khorne, an advantage here. He's able to report their movements. He's still on his first life. He's doing an excellent job of harassing. You just see how small this power armor, infantry battle armor is as he moves up and continues to get off his shots. You see just how hard it is to hit him as Milos is being told to stay behind and try and get some shots off on Khorne. Now Khorne will move up, and let's continue to move with the Duchy of Small forces as they move. Kill Them All and Zoidberg down on the lower part of the road, Vivisector. Omni and Dolovrich are joining the rest of the forces with Japal, Gray, and Sudibor taking the front forces. They think they've discovered the APC, but unfortunately for them, this is a part of the map, so luckily they didn't waste any important ammunition on it. An excellent place for the battle armor to harass things if he wanted to, because you can get in this door. This is one of the very few doors in Living Legends that will open, and the battle armor could just cause absolute crazy chaos if you got in here. As the rest of the Duchy of Small forces continue to move up. They continue, Milos, probably very beat up, telling him to stay back and provide support with his Hollander, which is very heavily beat up here. The match is still anybody's to take, but you certainly are starting to get the feel that the attacking forces are starting to feel a bit confident here. Moving in, they've caused a significant amount of damage. They've forced Duchy to move in response to their actions, rather than having Duchy take the lead in where and how the battle will be fought. Zoidberg probably realizing this, and one of the best commanders out there, so he'll certainly be able to get his forces to make adjustments as they move along. They've lost one asset already, and they've got a medium and a light that are very heavily beat up. So that's something that he will have to consider, as the two teams are playing ring around the rosy at this point, with the forces trying to keep up with each other. Khorne continuing to provide absolutely vital information about the location of the Duchy forces, as well as their movements. At this point, as much as he's doing an excellent job of causing damage, his best use actually is probably the recon information that he provides. Because if he were not here right now, it would be very easy for Zoidberg to move those forces a little bit slowly out to an advantageous position. As you see Sudibor now realizing that the defenders have caught up, and he will move out of there. He'll be able to Report to Zoidberg on radar. They're positioning. Dola is going to need to get out of here in a hurry. But you can see this is a treacherous place for a tank, and he certainly took a very hard amount of damage. Unlike mechs in this game, tanks take heavy damage, or vehicles take damage when they fall, so Dola's side is certainly, if it was green, it's yellow, maybe even an orange after falling that many dozens of meters down. The positioning now, arguably, you could say belongs to Duchy because they've been able to get to a spot that they like. Gorgots and Kentak's kind of realizing this, so they're being careful with how they move up. The two teams continue to trade shots. Stubby taking an absolute beating as Duchy forces are able to just absolutely focus fire here, and the defense forces realizing this is an extremely bad position for them, so they are going to be cautious about trying to move back. They have enough range to move back and try to stay at least more than 900 out, so those PPCs don't do as much damage. They're doing an excellent job, both teams are, of moving forward, getting their shots off, focusing fire, and then getting back, as Burner will be focused on with a couple of machine guns. The LRMs for Gorgots are going to be an advantage for them right now, as the Duchy forces don't have enough lambs or assets really to quite match that range. As Bob goes down now, the Vulture A, that's a significant loss, and that certainly puts the focus back on this being a close match between the two teams. Keep in mind that the battle armor is not a carrying asset. It cannot be the last asset alive and still be considered to give the victory to his team. So you'll see Korn continue to move up there and now massively focusing fire. As predicted, Zoidberg has his team in fighting range and in fighting position, and they are certainly focusing fire now, and they very well could still take this battle. See the battle armors slowly moving up to try and utilize his life and cause some chaos. You can see a lot of focused fire now. Warlord Kentak's in a safe but dangerous position. He'll need his team to move up, and they need to start considering moving back from this position, as the Duchy forces are now considering moving forward and closing the distance on the defenders as they move to the edge of the bridge. Both teams still doing an excellent job of trading fire, but certainly in this last engagement, the Duchy forces have certainly been able to significantly increase the amount of damage that they've been able to distribute, as Japal, who was already heavily damaged, goes down. So the advantage perhaps now swings back in the other direction for the defenders. However, since we've turned away, Gorgots is now down, so the two teams starting to get a bit equal. The battle armor is still in there doing his job, but again, remember that he is not a carrying asset. Mr. Gray, an extremely dangerous asset right here. He has to be careful not to. Eratan down now, so the defenders continue to have some momentum. Gray down, and that might be enough to shift this now. Zoidberg still has enough firepower to finish the job here, but he has to be careful. With each of his shots, with each of his members, he has to say, this is your role, this is what you're doing, this is what I need you to do. You can see that they're taking a lot of firepower here. That's why he's having Vivisector move back to get to some range. He's going to try and have Omni deal with Korn here. Zoidberg continues to watch the bridge to make sure that they don't, the defenders don't move up and rush them. Zoidberg will now take a bit of cover and see if he can get a shot off on the battle armor. The battle armor has been a game-changing choice. This is an excellent decision by the Lakis forces to take that battle armor. That battle armor has meant the difference in this game so far, as we see some firepower, and that is just an absolute terrible time for a crash as I continue to talk. I apologize. We'll get you back in there for this part of the battle. I suggest that you go watch Burner at twitch.com/burner77. You can also find a link there for Vic Viper's Twitch, which might be in there, and I apologize, but Living Legends is a beta, so crashes happen. Get back in as fast as we can, but by the time we do, you certainly get the feeling that the battle may be teetering on the edge of being over. The two teams still have enough firepower between them to do kills, but you have to wonder just how much Zoidberg can get his forces to come together and focus their firepower. right now, because the other question is, how damaged are they? They've been fighting for 20 plus minutes here. Time could start becoming an issue, and you wonder after a while if they've just simply taken too much damage, and if they're just trying to take down as much of the defense force as they can. Anyway, let's move into spectate mode, shall we? And let's just get a feel for how many people are left. Melos is moving in, and so still some forces left. Assume that's let's hope that's corn. Nope, that's corn. Well, I'm gonna have to do something I don't like to do. Let's keep an eye on the battle. As looks like ELH has turned it in their favor a bit as they continue to focus fire. Not a ton of assets left, and you know what? They just might win this now. While we've been gone, they've been able to focus a crapload of firepower. They still have Kill Them All, Omni, Zoidberg, and Dola. A lot of heavy hardware here. And you definitely can see that I will focus on Kill Them All, and I'm going to have to take care of something, ladies and gentlemen. Outstanding. So anyway, let's just keep an eye out, make sure that only the people that are supposed to be in this fight are actually shooting things. Is Kill Them All maybe the only one left? Kill Them All and Melos. And looks like we've got a number of players that have unfortunately joined the game, and let's hope that they are far enough out that they don't affect the outcome of the battle here. Kill Them All, heavily outnumbered. Should be just amount of time. He will do what he can, but that's it. Our 10v10 battle. No, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Melos is still alive, and we're going to have to move. Been having to talk with my server administrator about a few issues, but luckily so far we've been able to have the match continue with our participants. As we come back, and we see that there's the entire possibility that, and we now have interference. So this will be looked at and addressed by the council if necessary. Match over.